guinea pig. It's called cuy down there. And you actually have to try to get this one down there because they only really eat it in the mountains and we're on the coast. But I was able to try some, and it was fine. I think the one I had wasn't very good, but you gotta try and find cuy while you're there, guinea pig. One time I was lost in the jungle at night. That was fun. My companion, he hadn't been in the sector as long as me, and he didn't listen to me when I said we shouldn't go that way because there's no way to get over the river. So we ended up being lost for a few hours in the jungle at night, and that was fun. I remember one time that I was able to really feel the power of being a missionary. That's probably the most amazing thing, is just you feel the authority you have. But I remember one time, it was kind of actually a prophecy, but like I just felt really inspired to tell this family that if they accepted the gospel, like their children would be able to escape the crushing poverty that they lived in. And I remember the Spirit was really strong when I was saying those things. And you'll have opportunities like that throughout your mission to just testify with the Spirit, and that's the best thing about being a missionary, I think, at least for me, is feeling like the power of God with you. I can't remember any that I've made, but there was one that this other elder made. He said when he was learning, he was talking about the Catholic Church and the Pope, and the way you say Pope in Spanish is Papa, but he said Popa, and he said, "Me gusta su Popa," like I like your Pope. But the way he said Popa, and that actually means poop. And so he told them, "I like your poop." You kind of just get better at life, like being able to travel and live on your own and pay bills and things like that and organize your time. Definitely the rainy season. You have the dry season and the wet season. And the 2 years I was there, it actually wasn't a very bad wet season, but I do remember this one time I got off the bus in my second sector, and I remember being on that bus, and it was raining so hard that it looked like we were in a car wash when the water's on full blast. That's what the windows looked like, and we stepped out, and I was instantly soaked down to my underwear. And I just remember being fascinated at how that could happen so fast. It felt like somebody dumped a bucket of water on my head. And it causes flooding sometimes, which is actually kind of fun. So I would say the hardest thing about being a missionary, you have a lot of hard experiences, but it's just those days when nothing works out. I remember some days that we would just basically walk around our sector the entire day, and it was really, really, really hot and humid, and nobody wanted to like talk to us, and we didn't sit down the entire day. Those were the worst, absolute worst days, because you get home and you're bone tired and miserable, and you didn't really do anything that day, and you feel like you're wasting your time. Those are definitely the hardest experiences, but with a good attitude, you can overcome that. It's to keep doing what you were doing. It's interesting because you think when you're on a mission that you are very spiritual and doing very well, and you are, but it's because you're kind of almost forced to be that way. It's like the rules that you're following and the lifestyle that you're living, but once you get back, all of that just kind of disappears, and you have every intention of reading the scriptures every day and doing everything that you said you told yourself you were going to do, but it's not actually that easy, because before in the mission when you did it, you were very few temptations exist in the mission, so in a way. And when you get back, like the real world comes and attacks you, and Satan, he doesn't like returned missionaries because of the force for good that they can be. And so you'll be hit by all sorts of temptations that you never faced before in your entire life, even before your mission. And it's just a completely new ball game. If you have the opportunity, you should go to the temple every week if you live close to one. You should study the scriptures every day, not read the scriptures. That I found for me personally that doesn't cut it. I have to study the scriptures, or it just, things don't work out for me like they normally would. So it's just definitely that, just studying the scriptures as hard as you can still, because that's what will keep you like holding the iron rod. That's what will save you from really like the next level of life. and the next level of temptations.